starting here tonight, just got a few words. But before that, I got some announcements. Sarah Hartspett, she broke her toe and she broke it like completely. The only thing holding it on is just the skin. So yeah. So I think she got a doctor's appointment soon, but there's not really much you can do about that. So just keep her in our prayers. Linda Nichols, she's still struggling from the surgery. Of course, keep her prayers. Dick as well. Remember Jessica Crawford, she's still in pain with her shoulder. For those you know, Jackie Richardson, he's a gospel preacher in North Alabama. He passed away this morning. And then we got Sharon, Deborah, Mr. Juan, Eric Hartsbed, and then Miss Lisa Parker. They're all out of town, so just keep all of them in your prayers. And then special announcements, we got the graduate party this Sunday for all the people that graduated from college, high school, whatever. And then let's see. So after my words, Mr. Apps will sing a song invitation. It'll be song number 69. So I have to go ahead and mark that in your songbook. And then my father will lead us in a closing prayer. So if you'd like to turn to your Bibles to Matthew chapter 26, that's where all our text is going to be coming from. So tonight we're going to be looking into an account of prayer and our praying in crisis and how it helped Jesus. And hopefully we can learn some things from it. So Matthew chapter 26, starting in verse 36. I'll read through the whole thing. Starting verse 36. Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And taking with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me." And going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." And he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, "So could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Again, for the second time, he went away and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass, unless I drink it, your will be done." And again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the third time, saying the same words again. Then he came to the disciples and said to them, "Sleep and take your rest. Later on, see, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going, and see, my betrayer is at hand." So in verse 36 and 37, then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And taking with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and troubled. So of course Jesus already knew what the ultimate plan was. He knew what was going to happen. But that initial shock or sinking feeling in his stomach finally set in. And so what was Jesus' first thought to do? It was to go pray about it. And not only to go pray about it, but he brought friends with him to be with him as he prayed. And that could be a notable thing for us to think about and keep in mind. And then in verse 38, then he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me." He talked about the issue that was troubling him to his friends and about what was going through his mind at that moment. And then so he asked them to wait with him as he went and prayed. Matthew 39, and it says, "And going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, 'My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will.'" He prayed about the other options and thought about it and thought about all the options and what else he could do. And he let God help and guide him through his thoughts and through his fears and concerns, and leaned upon God through all this troublesome time that was about to occur to Jesus. And then in verse 42, again, for the second time, he went away and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done." After putting thought and prayer into the situation, Jesus knew it was going to happen, it was going to happen, but that doesn't make it any less scary. So he just needed time to pray and think about it and to feel better about it and more confident in the decision that Jesus made and more confident that God was going to help him. So basically kind of like a pick-me-up. And then in verse 46, rise, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand. So Jesus received the resolve and courage to act and to face on what was coming to him after praying and putting God into it. So to recap for us today, when we first get that sinking feeling of whatever hard thing is about to come to us, talk to friends, pray about it, and especially ask God for help. We can always go to God in prayer for anything we need. Secondly, we should think about what we're going to have to face, define the issue, lay it all out in front of us to make it more manageable and better understand what's going to happen. Thirdly, we should think about all our options and ask God for guidance to help us decide what we should do and what's the best choice going forward during hard times, especially during hard times where our mind isn't working the best. Fourthly, once we have prayed for our resolve and strength to make whatever decision we do, and we know what we should do, we should act on it and use that courage that God gives us. And then we should receive the courage that we get from friends and especially from God and use it to help us. And we just need to fully rely on God and trust in Him. So hopefully talking about this account of Jesus praying during a hard time helped brought up some new thoughts for us and is able to help us during hard times as well. So if there's anything you need to be prayers or just support or anything, or if you would like to learn how to become a Christian, please come up as we stand and sing.